It's your boys coming to you live from the Greeky Tiki Studios with Such Good Shoot, the podcast about anything and everything in the world of wrestling. Coming to you tonight for a special Deathmatch edition. It's your host, Dozer, with his main man, Shane!
That was a hell of an introduction. I gotta tell you. I mean, you went all out, man.
No. Nick and Jericho went all out.
Oh.
Well,
they should have been on all out, but we'll probably talk about that now.
I don't know. There might be better things planned for all out. I don't know. Maybe a suite or something. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I couldn't help myself on that one. But, you know, all in all, I think the matter at hand tonight is just the fact that we've had some great fucking death matches in the last 5 days.
Yeah, started Saturday.
And, you know, we've had a lot of Nick Gage in the past 2 days. And, you know, the main reason we gathered here is to talk about the Jericho and Nick Gage match that just happened about an hour or so ago on AEW Dynamite on free TV. Like, what? But I think to give this match full context, Shane, can you recap what happened on Saturday night in Atlantic City?
Yeah, so I'm like a first-time deathmatch pay-per-view buyer. My girlfriend, Erin, hello, was like, yeah, like, do you want to watch the GCW show tonight? And I was like, whatever. And I was thinking about it. I was like, it's probably $20. You know what I mean? So fuck it. Might as well check it out. I got to see what happens with Cardona. And I accidentally bought both days for $21 because both nights were $13.99. But yeah, so Nick Gage and Matt Cardona wrestled Saturday night for the GCW Heavyweight Championship. It was just one of the most insane things I've ever watched as a wrestling fan. Seeing, you know, the artist formerly known as Zack Ryder go in and get busted up with like 60, 70 fucking light tubes and glass panes, pizza cutter. And, you know, I've dabbled in deathmatch wrestling, but I've never watched a full card. And it was insane. Matt Cardona ended up winning, almost got beaten up by fans, and was showered in a pile of trash that Hulk Hogan would be proud of.
Absolutely. And it seemed, just from watching the backlash and the wrestling media talking about it, that Cardona kind of established himself as one of the greatest heels currently in the deathmatch world with one match.
Oh, I mean, like, that was real heat that you don't see anymore. Dave Meltzer is out of his fucking mind. Like, I get the fact, like, throwing trash isn't wonderful. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, to have people that legitimately angry with you in the year 2021 in professional wrestling
that's unheard of at this point.
Yeah, it's really insane.
And, you know, he hates people throwing trash because he lives in trash. I don't remember who I stole that from, but look at his office. It's a pigsty.
Yeah, I mean, just it's so out of touch, old man, and like angry at what made the wrestling business so enthralling and out of control to begin with. Like I said, is there a place for it? Maybe not, but like the fact it happened is so important for that company. You know what I mean? Because it's everywhere. They sold a shirt for it with just the picture of the tweet, and my dumbass bought it. Like,
I'm pretty sure we could make that shirt. I'm pretty sure you can't copyright that shit. And if you can copyright it, GCW certainly doesn't own it.
Yeah, like I said, I was so amazed by the reaction, and not that I loved either of the nights as like wrestling shows. But it was something, and I definitely came out of those 2 nights enjoying like a deathmatch promotion more. Like I would buy another GCW card. You know, do I think it's pure professional wrestling? No, but it's a fucking, you know, it's close enough. Like,
and, you know, just quickly touching on a comment we have here from Tyler. I absolutely do not know what is playing behind me.
Yeah, I didn't watch the
It
whole
is
card.
something from Dynamite last week. Big LG or somebody taking on somebody wearing Christian's trunks, but it ain't
Oh,
Christian.
I believe that's Frankie Kazarian, the Elite Hunter. I think that match happened last week. I haven't watched entire cards for a minute.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I, just gained the ability to watch AEW tonight, mostly because of the match we're talking about. And, we should probably talk about it in the 72 labors of MJF. Labor number 2, we have Jericho taking on Nick Gage in a death match.
No rules match. It was not a. They didn't.
Okay, so TNT has some restrictions on what they can say and can't say. It was a death match. Why this got the no rules match versus like the lights out match that really opened to AEW, I don't know.
Yeah, this would have made a lot of sense as a lights out match. Dozer, why don't you take over? Like I said, I've
So
watched a lot of. Oh,
I will absolutely take over. And this was one of my first real experiences with a death match, which is kind of shocking coming from the hardcore city themselves, Philadelphia, the birthplace of all great hardcore promotions. I don't care what you say. We got ECW, we got fucking CZW, we got Ring of Honor, and we ain't too far from GCW. In fact, I was a little pissed off that I was only 5 miles away from this GCW pay-per-view happening when it happened, and I goddamn missed it because I don't pay attention. But, so I'm watching this Jericho match, and I don't know what to expect. I'm seeing Painmaker Jericho come out, somebody who I've only ever really seen the pictures of him as the Painmaker, and I'm not sure how I feel about this face paint on this old man, but we'll leave that aside. He enters the ring, people are screaming, yay! Singing his song. Then, the bell tolls, and Nick fucking Gage walks out. And, I don't know if the crowd reacted appropriately or not. I don't know how much of the crowd knew who Nick Gage was. I knew who he was, but that's only incidentally. So the match gets started, and right away, as soon as the match starts, we get some blood on Jericho from a quick pizza cut to the arm. And that pizza wheel becomes incredibly prevalent throughout the night, especially with a perfectly timed Domino's ad, according to our people not bootlegging this through the UK. And you can't knock that Domino's ad. Got to rock that hustle. And there were chairs, there were light tubes, there was glass. I'm pretty sure, the light tubes, I don't think you can gimmick. The glass, I'm pretty sure, was gimmicked. That was safety glass. That wasn't regular pane glass. I'm sorry. It probably wasn't sugar glass, though, like WWE uses.
No, I mean, it definitely still had the ability to hurt someone. You know what I mean?
It absolutely had the ability to hurt someone. And, watching Nick Gage go with the pizza wheel at Jericho's head, you could see he was digging in some. Like, it wasn't all the rolls weren't landing, but some definitely dug in. They definitely drew legit blood with that. And watching these light tubes, I don't know how much they hurt or don't hurt. I've never been hit with a light tube. I never intend to be hit with a light tube. It is my goal in life to never make that happen. But they're a spectacle. They are a spectacle to watch. They explode. They're kind of like why the kendo stick is so prevalent. You hear them crack. They look like they hurt. They leave a welt. It's beautiful. And that's how I felt about the light tubes in this match, and it was perfect. The match did not go on too long. I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes, which from the couple of death matches I've watched here and there for the show, that's pretty short, actually.
You sure it was that short? I thought it was closer to like 10 or 12 minutes. I mean, I'm not totally sure, obviously, but
I didn't break out the stopwatch, and I don't have a Wikipedia up telling me what to say on this, so I honestly don't know. It felt short to me.
Yeah,
maybe that's just because they didn't go too hard on some of the stuff.
Especially comparative to what I saw on GCW last weekend. It was definitely a little short for sure. But I think that's why I liked it so much, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah, well, tell me what you did like about this match and what brought you into it.
I mean, like I said, having watched the entire weekend, I was definitely interested to see what happened on AEW Dynamite. It's a cable television show on the Turner Network broadcasting services.
Turner
Shit.
Network Television.
Oh yeah, it was on TNT. But yeah, I was just interested to see how that translated and what all happened. And obviously the match got off to a little bit of a slow start. You know, you had like the initial pizza cutter deal, and I was like, okay, cool. Um, but by the time you reached like around where they hit the commercial break, it was, I mean, it was insane. Like for cable broadcast television, I was nothing short of amazed at the lengths they went and what happened. I mean, the amount of blood, the amount of brutality you don't normally see on especially cable television, man.
Yeah, and I
It,
can't imagine how much in the truck. I'm sure there was a guy whose whole job was to keep his finger right on the dump button,
yeah, I mean,
ready to
because
dump the broadcast.
TNT couldn't have known what they were going to do, how
I
far they
I
would
can't
go.
imagine they didn't know. That it would be suicide to not inform them to you may want to look into this Nick Gage guy.
Yeah, I mean, but like they couldn't have known, like they couldn't have known the amount of blood. You know what I mean? Like to me that's the whole thing is the amount of real blood that was
Blood
spilled
and
in
guts,
that.
pal.
Yeah, I mean that was spilled in that ring for anybody that has cable to see. You know, like they might have been informed. Oh, there's gonna be glass. There's gonna be light tubes. There's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be good.
Well, how about can light tubes be? You know, they kind of just pop, and it's not big glass; it's thin glass. It's not going to cause a lot of blood. You
Yeah, like
know.
I have to imagine there were TNT execs and people that will see this that are invested in TNT that are gonna fucking shit their pants or were shitting their pants because uh, I've seen different opinions from hardcore wrestling fans. And half of them I think are sane and are saying, "Yo, this is one of the best fucking things that's ever happened to deathmatch wrestling, man. To see, you know, have this many eyes on deathmatch wrestling at the same time. Yeah, most of them won't like it, but they've seen it now. You know what I mean? And you might, you know, I'm sure they're gonna get a ton of people that were like, "Yo, this was dope." Um, and then there like the other people like, "Oh, you know, Nick Gage lost to Jericho." And you know maybe they didn't go as crazy as what they should have, but
But that was the only answer. There's no way that this ends on Labor 2. Like, if
yeah,
you didn't see Jericho winning this, you're an idiot. Just like he's winning next week against Tuvi. I'm sorry. It's going to be an excellent watch. He's winning.
yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
spoiler alert.
yeah, no,
Um,
but like,
just that I just want to quickly address a question from the crowd here. Is AEW trying to over gimmick?
yes,
I definitely agree, and they're definitely going for that blood and guts market that Vince has purely shut out. That they think will bring in that 18 to 39 audience, and it's
it's
working.
working. Yep.
I'm not going to lie. Up until an hour ago, I had no way to watch AEW because of this match. I bought a VPN. I bought AEW Plus through Fight, and I watched this match so that one, I could talk about it, and two, I could see it. And
Yeah,
it worked.
yeah, and now that you have all that shit, you're probably gonna tune into AEW a little bit more. There might be a couple matches you watch next week, or you might watch the show. Who knows?
Yeah, I may not watch it live, but I'll watch it the next day. I'll watch it. Hell, it ain't that hard. I can do this. And
Jovan, Jesus, they're out of their fucking mind.
the pizza cutter not gimmick. Some of the shots. So with the AEW Plus, I got to see the full screen where you all saw the picture in a picture.
The picture
And
in
yeah, during that, he wasn't hitting a lot of those with the pizza cutter with the actual blades. He was going like in the front. But
Yeah.
there were definitely shots that definitely connected. There's no doubt about that to me.
So,
Sorry, one more coming up. And you know what? Honestly, I don't care about the Punk. The Punk will be great to see, especially if he debuts in Chicago. But the DB, I just worry for his health. That's my biggest concern. If he can go, he can go. If he says he can go, he can go. I don't want him to end up in a wheelchair like half these guys at the WrestleCons.
yeah, I mean it's worrying, but also at the same time, as a very selfish wrestling fan, I'm excited to see what happens with it. So Jovan in the comments here said Cardona brought all the eyes to GCW more than what AEW could have done. And brother, I totally agree. That was Cardona was much better for GCW, but this match for like deathmatch wrestling as a whole, I think this means more for deathmatch wrestling than what the Cardona match did.
Ah, I don't know, but I do know it made Cardona a much bigger name than he was, which is kind of saying something because everybody loves Zack Ryder. My wife loves Zack Ryder.
Bro, I hate Zack Ryder.
Oh, woo, woo, woo. You know it. He was Jersey Shore before Jersey Shore was a thing.
Yeah, bro, and I'm the youngest angry old man you've ever seen, as has been said over and over again.
You are, and I'm a Guido, so it kind of works out.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. You can like what you like. That kind of sucks.
Well, it's not like what you like. It's literally I'm a Guido on that. That's not a choice.
As I mean, well, you know.
Guido by birth, baby.
Yo, that's a tattoo you should get directly on like the base of your neck across your shoulders. Guido by
birth,
birth,
baby.
baby.
No, no,
Spelled
no, no. I
really
got it. I got to get a fake gold chain tattooed, and in the center have Guido by birth on it.
Yo, that shit's bad. But yeah, I mean, I just think, especially for AEW, I've seen a lot of people really mad on Twitter.
Oh
people
no, people on Twitter are mad. What are we going to do?
people are very angry. But for what this match was supposed to be, which was MJF hiring a crazy motherfucker, a mercenary, that's it was perfect. I mean, it was what you wanted it to be. The commentary was on point, and I think mostly real. I mean, like JR was shitting on, on Nick Gage
Uh,
literally the entire time. Um
EDJ,
and
you know how to get in here.
yeah, hop in, brother.
You know how to do
Um
this.
and Shivani just being just shock and awe. And I mean, even at points MJF was screaming like he was hurting. Like I thought the commentary was on point. I think they accomplished what they needed to, which was putting Jericho through hell. And
They definitely
you've
put Jericho through hell.
yeah, you have Jericho, who is one of the greatest of all time, and you just saw him in a position you have literally never seen that man before.
No, he don't do death matches.
No, I mean, and he wasn't happy that he had to take the tack bump from Ambrose at the Ambrose Asylum. He wasn't happy about that, and this man went out and did the thing. Like I think both competitors deserve a lot of credit because Nick Gage just went out and lost on national television against a non-deathmatch wrestler.
It was more doggy. Sorry, Jovan. It wasn't missionary. It was doggy.
Man, I just
Sorry, bad jokes, people.
but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where I'm still reeling. that was seen by like some fucking 7-year-old. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're definitely pissed off parents.
Yeah. So Dozer.
Luckily, it's not going to hurt the AEW toy sales because from what I have seen, they're mostly bought by people that look more like me than like little Joey down the street. So I think we're safe there.
So Dozer, just I'm curious your opinion as a parent. What would you think if your 7 8-year-old child was what you walked into the room and you saw them watching this? What's your opinion? I'm curious.
Why aren't you in bed?
Okay, fair enough.
Look, I'm a firm believer in the British system of there's a watershed time where after that all bets are off. And basically, as long as you're not fucking a goat on TV, you can get away with it. And I don't mind that. This was well after prime time. I think I would be more upset by the bringing little Joey to the show.
Okay.
And it not being announced until the week before that there is going to be this ultra-violent match. I think that would be my concern, especially with that ultra-violent match being the main event. If it was a lights-out match after the fact, I could get behind it. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome, DDJ.
Hello, Dennis.
Dennis, same question.
Yeah.
We're just rolling with this. As a parent, how would you feel if little Joey watched this match as a 7-year-old and you weren't really expecting this to be on the show?
Oh man. Well, first off, I don't have a little Joey. I have a little Matthew. But if he were to have watched, if I would have seen some of that stuff, I probably wouldn't have, at least at this time, let him watch that, because while as insanely good as that was, I'm honestly surprised they were able to pull off a match like that on TV and, get away with a lot of the stuff they did. But that is something I don't think I would have, had on with my son in the room.
Yeah. So Dozer, real quick, just to throw it back to you. You mentioned live. What would you do? Like if you're there with little Joey and you're live and this is starting to happen, would you cover the eyes? Would you evacuate the premises? Would you just?
I would leave. I would get up and leave. One, I'm an old man. I like to leave before the shit's over anyway to avoid the crowds.
Wait. You're saying you're old? I bet you anything I've got a few years on you.
Yes, but I live further from any venue. It's a long drive home.
No, I'm not that far from the Now Arena where All Out's going to be, and the United Center where the new show, the episode that they announced for Rampage, basically, and then Allstate Arena. I've got like 3 arenas within an hour drive, so yeah, that might hit me there.
Yeah, the main attraction for Dozer Live is a trampoline flying across his backyard.
I mean, yeah. Well, I get to watch some great windstorms and see what blows over. Normally my shit. Occasionally someone else's.
It's your house, bro.
Yeah, it's not always a good thing living out in the middle of nowhere. But hey, there are worse things. I still have high-speed internet. I could still bootleg watch AEW. It works.
So DDJ, you're live. You're live with Lil Matthew. What are you doing? Are you getting up and you abandoning ship, or what's your if you're live?
If we're at the show, well, at this point, I don't think Mrs. DDJ is ready for him to go to a show like this. But if we were at a show like this, if he did come with me to a show like this, say if we were there, yeah, I probably would have. As much as the fan inside of me would have been like, I want to see this to the end. The parent, the responsible, DDJ, which that's almost oxymoronic. Yeah, I probably would have been like, once I saw the pizza cutter or something, I would have been like, okay, I think it's time to go.
So, do you think it would have been a different story if, say, you knew when you bought the tickets that there was going to be this ultra-violent match at the end of the night.
Absolutely. I think when, like, I'm sure the tickets, went on sale, long sold out before this was even announced. Because again, this match was only announced a week ago, and stuff. But I kind of wonder when they, the tickets went on sale for this event. I'd be willing to bet this probably wasn't even in the cards. I'm sure something like this, especially with all the buzz and everything that Gage was getting with, the Dark Side of the Ring special, and then obviously the stuff with Cardona, and then obviously coming off the heels of this, this past weekend. I'm sure that kind of just, was kind of all kind of come together at the quote unquote last minute. But something like this, I can almost guarantee you, and I don't have any kind of inside sources or anything like that, nor do I claim to do that because I don't have those, apparently don't have those kind of
connections. No, we're just three fans right now.
Yeah. But no, I'm almost positive that when tickets went on sale for this event, this probably wasn't even in the cards.
Oh, so, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm saying if I'd have known, like if I would have went, but I would have been like, I'd have been like, all right, buddy, maybe we'll wait for something a little more appropriate.
It's kind of tough, especially since most parents, I could be watching anything wrestling related, and she'd just go, "Oh, you're watching WrestleMania." So they, especially a parent not in the know, not me, not you, not Shane, they would just see it and go, "Oh, it's wrestling. It's WWE. It's John Cena."
Mm-hmm.
And, it's a dangerous thing. That's a problem ECW fell into. But at least ECW was crazy.
And you knew what you were getting with ECW. You knew you were getting that kind of stuff every single week, every single show. So you knew if you were getting a ticket for an ECW show that you were likely going to see something similar to what we just saw, for me,
but not even that crazy.
A half hour, 45 minutes ago, but because I was out with the family and stuff. But yeah, you go to an ECW show, you know what you're getting with AEW. And while I've been pretty, out there saying, hey, I like AEW because it's got a little bit of something from everyone. And we just got another new little something to add to that, that buffet, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. And you know what? You weren't here when we got started. So, DDJ, what do you say about this match?
Man, I was kind of wondering what we were going to get. I'm gonna admit I'm not a huge big fan of the deathmatch style. I know it's just one of the very few types of wrestling that it doesn't interest me, but I can see why it has the fan base that it does. And I've heard of Nick Gage, and then obviously with the Dark Side of the Ring special, and then seeing the clips from the match with Cardona. I kind of was like, wondering what we were going to get because again, if this were a pay-per-view or, something like on Fight TV or whatever, we probably would have gotten way more than we did. And obviously we got a little bit, I think I saw someone called it like GCW light or like, like a diet version of GCW because you got the light tubes, you got the glass and everything and stuff. I wasn't really sure what to get, but what I saw, I'm gonna come out and say it. I liked it. Like I think it was just enough. It didn't seem like it was overkill. It wasn't like using the weapons for weapons' sake, and again, shout out to Excalibur who's been killing it on commentary, at least in my opinion. So I think he
was
did
the best one there.
He did a really good job of educating those that may have not really been familiar with the deathmatch style. And also, telling us about, Nick Gage, and also shout out to the production team for the video that they put together for Nick Gage to kind of hype him up and introduce him to the mainstream audience and that. And if we're going this on the, how we usually, when we do our, the reviews of the old pay-per-views and stuff, we give the star system. I'd probably say I'd give that a solid 3.5 stars.
I'd give it 4 broken glass light tubes.
I would also give it 4
It-
broken
it-
glass
it was-
panes.
To just echo what I think we've all said is, it was just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
it was.
Go on.
I was.
Yeah, no.
Oh, sorry, Shane. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, DDJ. I said this earlier just to fill you in, and that's that. I watched GCW all weekend, and I saw a great many glass tubes getting broken. But this match was probably my favorite of the weekend that I saw on both nights of Homecoming for GCW and this, because they didn't overdo it.
Exactly.
And everything made sense, and especially within the context of AEW and what they're doing with the storyline, this was kind of absolutely perfect. I can't give it a 5 because it wasn't a great wrestling match, but it didn't have
Hey, there was a spine buster.
for what they wanted and what they wanted to do with this, being the mercenary. He's going to kill Jericho. I mean, you've never seen Jericho like that, have you?
No.
What I was going to say is, early on in the Such Good Shoot life, we watched and we reviewed live some Schlack matches.
Yes, we did.
Schlack is insane, but some of it is too much. You can only see so many light tubes get broken before you're desensitized in that match to a light tube being broken. This was just enough. Every hit had meaning.
Exactly. They didn't just use the weapons and everything just to use them, like you said. Yeah, I think you nailed it perfectly, Dozer, when you said every hit, every weapon, every hit had meaning behind it.
And watching Gage jab the light tube in Jericho's forehead, watching that pizza cutter slice him, you felt it. You felt it in your soul.
Yeah, I mean, especially seeing a legitimate living legend and one of the greatest of all time in the business. You've never seen him like that, bleeding like that. You know what I mean? I mean, he looked like he was going to fucking die through the last 3 minutes of that match.
Absolutely.
Man, it just goes to show you just how good, and that Jericho really is, and just really since he's the last let's say 3 years or so, basically since he's really kind of disassociated himself from the WWE, just he's gotten the platform to just showcase how good he really is. Because I mean, let's go back 5 years, so 2016. Do you think any of us? Can you honestly say you ever thought you would have seen Chris Jericho in a match like he was in tonight?
No.
Absolutely not. And Tyler, you got the comment on there. Yeah, Jericho was a GOAT, and I'm not the guy that takes shots at people, but there's a certain someone who's probably. I wonder if he maybe sitting behind bars, maybe saw this match or something, and that. But I'm just saying. Sorry, I had to go there, but no, Jericho really just stepped up. Why he is and should be talked about amongst the greatest of all time. Because
there's no doubt. The day he won the title from both Rock and Austin in the same night, he kind of solidified himself as a GOAT.
Yeah,
he's
doing things that I think a lot of people who maybe only have known him for his time in the WWE would have never. I mean, even myself, I would have never thought I would have seen him in a match like this. But I mean, it's really just goes to show you just how good he is.
It absolutely has, and what tonight has done more so than anything. And my Disney podcast, we talk a lot about synergy.
Mm-hmm.
And watching this match, one, it worked. It got me to pay to watch AEW.
Yep.
It worked there. Two, I am now going to go watch the Nick Gage Dark Side of the Ring documentary. I'm lazy.
Really
I haven't watched a lot of them. And three, I will get to watching the Painmaker matches in New Japan.
Now, do you think that this is the last we see of Nick Gage in AEW, or does he?
Yeah, for a while. I feel like maybe
Hmm.
a year or two down the line, because Nick Gage isn't a young man. I mean, Nick Gage is like 44.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like a couple years down the line, when his body is finally failing him, I feel like you see Nick Gage one more time. You know what I mean? As long as AEW is still there, maybe it's against MJF. You know what I mean? Maybe we never get a payoff as far as, MJF not paying him or whatever, and Nick Gage on his farewell tour shows back up. You know what I mean? And gets his fucking payment. You know what I
It's a
mean?
wheelchair slap match, everybody.
Correct me if I'm wrong. MJF, wasn't he part of CZW at one point?
I feel like
Yes, I think he was.
yeah, I feel like he was there for a second, but who knows if Gage was there? You know what I mean?
Like around the same time or something. But I'm almost positive. I know because I think when
Nick
they
Gage
talked
could have
about
been in jail at that point.
he may have been, but I mean, it's just I like I said, it's it's nice to see the Nick Gage story. I mean, he's turning it around from where he was when you mentioned about the bank robbery, and they do talk about it quite a bit in the Dark Side special. But I mean, I'm always a sucker for the the feel good turnaround story where someone gets himself straight and turns their lives around, and then good things happen to them. And I mean, good for Nick Gage. Yeah, like I said, I don't think he's suited for mainstream, weekly TNT wrestling or anything, of that
Oh
nature.
no, and I don't think he would be
No.
happy doing it. I mean, I don't think he wants to do it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
He doesn't want to do his moves to the cameras, to the hard cam. That's not him. He
no, he
wants,
don't want to do the move to the fans.
wrestle in
Right.
the round. It's
Um,
quite simple. But you know what? We've all given this match our stars. Do we have any final thoughts on it?
yeah. Oh, not really on the match, but I do want to ask DDJ a question.
Shoot.
DDJ, did you watch all of Dynamite?
Yes, I finished it probably close to an hour ago.
Did you shit your pants when it was announced that Tanahashi will be wrestling on uh, Dynamite?
Yeah, I was it just, and this is something that like it's just it's been it's yeah, I admit I was shocked because I remember being just really excited for the possibility of Tanahashi wrestling for AEW back when he faced Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom. I believe it was 2020.
Yeah, it was
That
the
was
last Jericho match in New Japan, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Because
Yeah.
there was a stipulation that if Tanahashi won, he would be able to go through the forbidden portal to challenge Jericho for the AEW championship. So, when that happened, I'm thinking, okay, but yeah, seeing him on there, freaking
Dude,
awesome.
insane, right?
And the thing that I love about this, it's not going to be here. It's going to be Tanahashi is going to be challenging for that championship. Archer's going back to Japan.
Oh, he
So
is? I thought
yeah,
it was gonna be on Dynamite.
no, they announced they said
Oh,
during
okay.
I think it was during the match, I think it was after Archer won, that they announced that he was going to Japan to defend against Tanahashi, but they didn't announce the date. But I would assume, I know they've got, I believe it's like, I can't think of what their next big show is. I think it's like that Wrestle Grand Slam or whatever, or something
Yeah.
like that. I would assume that it's going to be, um, that's going to be when it happens and stuff. But yeah, no, it's just, what a great time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, we're seeing, the IWGP Championship change hands on an AEW show. We're seeing Kenny Omega, wrestling somewhat regularly in Impact Wrestling. We're seeing Conan on not only, AEW, but he was also on MLW if you happen to catch Battle Riot. I mean,
Jay White and Impact.
yeah, Jay White and Impact, Hikuleo and AEW. I mean, they mentioned that, Tama Tonga and, Tonga Loa. So could we see Gorillas of Destiny? I mean, it's such a great time to be a wrestling fan because we're seeing all these things that we thought we would never see. And it's just, that's the thing. What a time to be a wrestling fan.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. I've never been as into wrestling as I am now, but, I'm also hosting a podcast about it, so
Me
probably
too.
should watch it a little more than I have in the past.
Yeah, there's something out there for everyone, and that's the beauty of what professional wrestling is. There's something out there for everyone.
There is. It was a beautiful night. It got me to subscribe, and hopefully we'll get to see some more good stuff when next week Jericho takes on Juventud again.
That's
So
going to be
good.
really interesting because, I mean, I don't know how regularly Hoovy's wrestled. I know I've seen him make appearances here and there. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he looks. Can he go this? I'm sure he probably can't go like he was able to back when Jericho and Juventud had their feud in WCW. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
The fact that it's happening.
Absolutely. And I just want to take a moment to remind you to tune in tomorrow at 10:05 as we go live with The Godfather right here on Such Good Shoot, powered by the Johners Podcasting Network and DDJ. We'll try to best The Godfather in Godfather Trivia.
Man.
Yes, he
Till
will.
next time, that is Shane. That is What Do You Say with DDJ. And I'm that goddamn dozer. Till next time, bye.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Such Good Shoot. If you are on YouTube, please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon. Or subscribe to us on your favorite audio catcher. Or finally, if you're on Facebook, leave a comment, like the video, and make sure to share it out to